Hey everybody, it's me Richard with Real Men Craft 2. So it is the Wednesday after Christmas, so that is what, the 28th? I've got some good news. Come back after the intro. Hey everybody, welcome back. So yeah, as I said, I got some good news. I'm gonna take a sip of super hot coffee. Sorry if you heard that slurp. Oh, it's so good. This is dark chocolate caramel apple. It's actually, the coffee is that flavor. Yes, I hit 1,000 subscribers in just a little over 7 months. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. And I want to thank all of you for doing this. You guys watch, you come back, you comment, I love sharing tips with everybody. I love talking crafts. I've been doing crafting for 53 years. Yeah, in 4 days I'm gonna be 63 years old, and I started when I was around 9-10 years old. So in honor of almost hitting 1100, you guys all watched me working on the Wizard of Oz painting, and I had to do some changing of the rendering of a couple of the characters' faces. And Diamond Painting with Jack asked me, she said, wow, Richard, it's really cool that you can do that. You know how to do that. How do you do it? After designing beadwork and jewelry and crazy stuff, I've got one right here. Yeah, designing characters and beaded beadwork like this, you learn how to change single beads. You learn how to just change things in a pattern that you don't like. And I'm gonna show you here in just a minute. I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit, but if you guys can remember in the Wizard of Oz painting, which was a 40 by 50 centimeter painting that I did, the Scarecrow's face was really messed up. It looked like he had a big square black piece of coal for his nose, and he had no eyes. And Jack Haley is the Tin Man. He had one eye, but no eye over here. And then the Cowardly Lion, he just had a weird face. So I changed the rendering. I knocked some beads out, put different beads in, and I'm gonna be giving this diamond painting away. So if you are a fan of the Wizard of Oz, and who isn't? I mean, yeah, I do have a dear friend. She's been my friend for almost 33 years. Her name is Ellen, and she knows this. She hates the Wizard of Oz, but you know, she's almost like 150. Not really, she's only in her 80s. But she hates the Wizard of Oz because she couldn't stand Judy Garland. Now, me being an openly gay man, being gay has nothing to do with loving the Wizard of Oz. I just loved it as a little kid. I was petrified of the Wicked Witch. And you guys know now, it's funny because my life revolves around horror. I have a booktube channel, Nightmares Anyone, and I love horror. I'm a huge horror fan. So I'm gonna show you guys the painting. I trimmed it, it's been sealed, and it is completely done. It actually turned out really nice. Now, here in the Scarecrow's face, right here, let me see if I fixed his nose, I put his eyes in, and I did give him a mouth. I did fix Jack Haley's eyes, and I also fixed the Cowardly Lion's eyes. Yeah, so you can actually see the characters' expressions on their face. this actually turned out really nice. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna put this over on the other table, so excuse me for just a second. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you all had a great Christmas, a great Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrated. And I know a lot of people don't celebrate, but hopefully you had a good holiday time, time with your family. I got tons of great stuff for Christmas. I got, oh wow, I got a lot of stuff. I was really, I was watching Danielle over at Stitcherista yesterday, and I was looking at her Christmas haul, and I was cracking up because Danielle, you brought in a haul, girl. Now you brought in some Christmas gifts, but I brought in Christmas gifts, and it's funny because Bruce just knows how to shop for me. He finds these exclusive, one-of-a-kind things. He finds me limited and numbered certificate things that I would never search and do a search for myself. But yeah, I got some great cross-stitch patterns that I've wanted for like 35 years. I couldn't find them because they're extremely rare, and I'm gonna talk to you guys about that here in a minute too. So back to the drawing. If you want to enter the drawing for the Wizard of Oz painting, I'm gonna be giving it away the day of my birthday, which is the 2nd of January. So if you want to be eligible to win that diamond painting, you've got to put the word Dorothy anywhere in the comment. If I see the word Dorothy, it's gonna go in for the drawing. And then on around my birthday, I don't know if I'll be shooting the video the day of my birthday, but I'll post it on my birthday. I'm gonna be giving that painting away to a lucky subscriber. Now, you have to live in the United States because shipping is outrageous, even to Canada. Yeah, so sorry to Brittany B and Lovecraft Forever, Natalia. She lives in Canada too. Sorry, girls. It's just and guys, Jeff lives up there, and so does Jim. The shipping, I already took it into my post office. It would be like $65, and it's just I can't I can't afford that right now. Christmas put a damper in my pocket. But back to what I've been doing. So you guys, I'm taking a break from diamond painting for a while. My sister-in-law Bruce's sister loved her diamond painting I gave her, and his niece absolutely went crazy with the Once Upon a December diamond painting that I did for her that I got from Diamond Art Club. I will pop up a picture of both of those right here. Yeah, his niece Catherine loved her Anastasia. And you guys saw it before. I put it in a deep red metallic frame, and it came out gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. But I'm taking a break from diamond painting for a while, and I've been working on cross-stitch. I love to do counted cross-stitch. Now, I am not a fan of stamped cross-stitch. I never have been. I learned to do cross-stitch when I was 8 years old. I really took to it. I loved it. I used to do it a lot in the 80s, 70s, 80s. And then I really got into it in the 90s when I moved to California. I used to work for Leisure Arts / Stony Creek. Now, I was a sales hardlines manager, sales rep for that company. So I saw cross-stitch patterns that were coming out by a company called Mirabilia, and I'm going to show you guys a couple of them right here. I've probably got 40 of these. However, they're in my crafting room, and they're all categorized by the name. But I'm going to show you some here, and a lot of you have asked me in the last couple of weeks, Richard, I would love to see your cross stitch. do you have a favorite artist? It's funny, I do have a favorite artist. Her name is Nora Corbett, and she used to be an exclusive designer for Mirabilia patterns that were put out. Now, to find her patterns, you're gonna pay, they can be anywhere from 30 to 200 bucks for just the pattern. Yeah, just the pattern. So I'm really, really lucky I got them when I did. I just knew that I really liked her designs, and her patterns were beautiful. They're big. They're all about, in fact, let me get my measuring tape. Here's my measuring tape, my good old yardstick. But the one I'm working on now is 21 inches by 32 inches. She's beautiful. She looks like this, and it's called Garden Verses. She's absolutely stunning. The colors and the detail in this painting are beautiful. Now, this is a picture of the first one I did for my sister. I'm making the second one for our house here, and I've changed some of the colors. I'm gonna add 14 karat gold Toho beads for some of her details in her dress and stuff. Then along the flower garden, I'm gonna put greens and some deep reds, but not too much, just enough to give that bling and that texture feeling. But I'm gonna show you the piece here in a minute. But back to the patterns. So Mirabilia was really, really cool. They used to come, oh, in fact, before I get into, see, I'm already rambling. Before I get into what I'm talking about, I gotta clean my glasses really quick, sorry you guys. I need to welcome a bunch of new subscribers. So let me grab my little trusty St. Jude Children's tablet. Yes, I donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. I have since I used to work for Costco. I'm just, it's like, have some more coffee, Richie. So, in no particular order, I want to welcome Albert Bishop, Geraldine Lewis, Loves to Travel, Vicky, Todd and Maria Mott, Shine and Twinkle. I love these names. I love people's YouTube handles, their people name. Susan Meany, I have a cousin Susan Meany. Chaotic Crafting with V, and the chaotic is with a K and crafting is with a K, that's pretty clever. Janet Kingshot, Janine Johnson, T.R. Smith, who is Terry, Sandra Wood, Nancy Olson, Denise Payne, 1036 42 67, that's a very different name. Sweet 68P, because I'm sure Sweet Pea was taken. Anne Santilli, Dina's Love, or Deanna's Love, but I think it's Dina because there's only one N. Sheila Peterman, Shannon Epley, Patricia Patterson, Katie McCann, Amanda Belshin, Beta Productions, Mosaica 50, Brian All Things Crafty Elliott. If you haven't watched Brian's channel, he seems like a pretty cool person. Sandra Wood, Donna Martinez, Heidi Farkas. Farkas is funny because if you guys have seen A Christmas Story, the Farkas, no, they were the Bumpus. Bumpus? Something, the neighbors, they had those dogs. I always think of, I don't know why I think of Farkas, but when I saw Heidi's name, I thought of that right away. Melissa O'Brien, Lil Miss Morbid 89. Lil Miss Morbid 89, you need to go to my book channel. You would love it. You would fit right in there. Stacy Shorey and Christy Ann Knaps. Thanks to all of you for subscribing. It means the world to me. I love doing this, and if it wasn't for all you guys watching and popping in, and you know, I wouldn't have hit the subscriber numbers that I've had lately. So back to these patterns. I'm gonna show you guys just some of them. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 here. Like I said, I've probably got 35 to 40 of these. Now, this is what's funny. Here was what we sold them for to the stores, $8. And yeah, this is dated 1992. Now, like I said, you're gonna pay through the nose for these. This is one of my favorites. This is my lady's garden. She's absolutely, oh my God, she's gorgeous. She's absolutely beautiful. They would always come in these really nice packets. Here's the legend. There's Nora Corbett's name. This one came out in 1995. Water Lilies by Karen. Yeah, and these patterns, I'm gonna show you what they look like, and I'm gonna give you a tip. Somebody asked me the other day, Richard, how do you not destroy your patterns? Well, here's the funny thing. So that was, what one was that? These patterns are huge, and this one's a really, really, really pretty one too. I'll show you this one. So these patterns are huge. This one is Nantucket Rose. She's holding her baby. She's holding a baby. And the detail in these paintings are just, Nora Corbett was just a designer beyond a designer. Her work was just incredible. The Kiss, this one came out in 1995. Beautiful. This one's really, really, really big. I have stitched this one. This one's Sleeping Beauty. This one's from 1994. She's beautiful, she's gorgeous. And then this one I haven't ever stitched up. This one's in Mother's Arms. This one came out in 1993. And this is a beautiful picture of a woman or a mother holding a baby. It kind of reminds me of a sad picture. And then here's this one. I opened this one because I'll show you guys how these patterns were. This one is called, what is this one called? Oh, Queen Anne's Lace. This one came out in 1992. Queen Anne's Lace. Now, here's the picture. Absolutely stunning, just gorgeous. I love Nora Corbett's work. So these patterns were huge. Now, they always came so well folded. They were huge. Yes, beautiful, beautiful patterns. Now, this was when they changed distributors, and they went to, right there, Lavender and Lace. Can you see it right there? Yeah, Lavender and Lace, right there. They did change distributors, they changed their name, so they went from Mirabilia Patterns to Lavender and Lace. There's tons of them. There's tons and tons of her work. Her Angel series, if I know a lot of you are into angels, I've done 5 or 6 of those and given them away. And the angel pictures weren't your typical like precious moments angels. These paintings, I'm hooked on calling everything a painting now. These cross-stitch patterns of hers, her angel series were absolutely gorgeous. But she's got some Christmas angels that, oh my God, they're just gorgeous. So you guys should really do a search if you are a stitcher. I'm a double-fisted stitcher, which is a person who puts their right hand below I put it below my my fabric, and then I put my left hand on top of my fabric. So I switch my needle, I flip it, and I can do it super fast. Now, I've been struggling since 3 o'clock this morning. I noticed here on this piece that I'm gonna show you in just a minute, I'm off by a stitch somewhere and I cannot find it. So I've been ripping and taking out. So I'm counting backwards up to find where I'm off by one little stitch. Now, if you've ever done counted cross stitch, that can be a pain in the butt, because if you, when I was talking to Marcus the other day, he's just learning cross stitch. I told him, he asked me, he said, well, how do you recommend following your pattern? Now, if you notice on the patterns, there's grids, and these grids are in 1 inch by 1 inch squares. Some people will do grid for grid. I don't. I will map out like an 8 by 8 inch square, and then I go symbol by symbol. Now, this one that you're gonna see my piece here in just a minute, I'm working it on ecru 14 count Aida cloth. Yes, people say Ada, but I always say Aida because it reminds me of one of my favorite musicals. So yeah, to me it's Aida cloth. But it is Ada, it's pronounced Ada, Aida, however you want to say it. But I'm working it on ecru, and a lot of her dress and her shawl and the blanket like thing that she has draped across her knees is different colors of eggshell, ecru, tan, and it's, excuse my French, it's a bitch to see. Even with all my lighting and my magnifying lights, it's so hard to see. And at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're stitching because you can't sleep, that's when you're gonna mess up. And yeah, I did, I just got off by a stitch. But Marcus asked me, he said, how do you not ruin your patterns? What I do, since these patterns are so big in size, we can't just run them through our copiers here at home. So what I do, I take the original pattern, which like I said, they're very huge, they're expensive. I take these to my local office supply store and they will copy them to size. And then of course I enlarge it by 25% so I can see the symbols better. And then I put mine on magnetic boards, and then I will move my magnets down as I work. Now, when I used to teach cross stitch, and when I taught at the store, and when I did work for Stony Creek and Leisure Arts, I would recommend these all the time. You can get these at your local craft store. They're metal boards. I like to slide them in, and then they come with the magnetic strips, which look like this. And you get like 7 or 8 of them. They're super, super strong. They're so easy just to slide down and follow your stuff. You don't have to use a pencil. You don't have to mark up your pattern. But once you fold these patterns over, or you start bending them to accommodate wherever you're sitting, or look, they tend to wear. You're gonna wear your pattern, and once you wear the folds and the lines of paper, you're not gonna be able to see your symbols anymore. And then you either have to buy a new pattern or regret to yourself that you didn't get it copied. So that is a really good tip. Always copy your patterns, whether it comes out of a book, anything, just always copy your patterns so you don't put the wear and tear or the marking up of on your pattern. Now I do tend to, like, I'm gonna show you here in a minute, this area I'm working on, if something is like a swirl of color and your eyes, you'll start stitching and then you'll notice you accidentally moved over because you saw the symbol, I will use a very sharp number 3 or 1 pencil, and I'll mark it, or draw little arrows to myself, and then I can just erase it with a soft rubber eraser. I don't like to use the erasers on the end of the pen because when you rub, it just wears the surface of the paper or that it's printed on. So I always use those rubber, the rubber ball erasers that kind of look like our wax when we're doing diamond paintings. That's what I use, and then you just barely have to touch it and it takes the pencil completely off your pattern. But I love cross stitch. I love cross stitch. It's been around for hundreds of years, and people are intimidated by counting cross stitch. Don't let it intimidate you. Once you learn, when you start communicating with your brain how you want to follow these patterns, like it's funny, like a good example is like, say there's 4 stitches and then 2 and then 1. I tell myself little codes. I'll say like 4, skip 1, go down 2. I know exactly what that means to my brain. You start to tell yourself little codes. Now, I'm a right-handed stitcher, basically. You know, I use both hands, but I'm a left-handed person, but I stitch right-handed. Now, I've always, if you've ever done cross stitch is literally a cross, and you're gonna go either from top right down to bottom left, or you're gonna go from top left down to bottom right. I've always stitched upper right to bottom left, upper right to bottom left. I'll do the row and then I always come back. Some people will do cross by cross. I don't like the way that looks on the back of my canvas. I like my canvas to look as pretty on the back as it does on the front. Now, I'm not OCD. I'm not obsessed with, you know, if I get a piece of thread showing, because sometimes you'll have 1 or 2 stitches of just one color. I'll scoop over 8 or 9 spaces and put that stitch in and then come back up. So you will see you will see a thread occasionally on the back, but that's where you've got to be careful, because that's where you're going to catch your needle on the back, or catch a thread, and then you're going to, you know, be struggling, and like, you'll notice, why do I have this damn knot here? And then you'll flip it over and there's a big old loop of thread that you've caught on the back, which is very annoying. And if you're gonna mount this and frame it, you want your cross stitch to not have knots or bulky balls of thread on the back, because once you do mount it like on a sticky board and then frame it, you're gonna see that lump. You will see that lump in the cross stitch. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna unroll her, and I'm gonna pop the camera out of the hold of my holder right now, and then I'm gonna bring this around. Or what I could do, I could just flip this frame around, and you're gonna notice that I've got mine on a American Ace wood crafter frame. I loaned my, like I said, this one's 21.5 inches wide. I loaned my 24-inch scroll bars to one of the senior ladies that I used to teach here at the community center, at the Asian Community Center, and I never got them back. So they were the really nice ones that, you know, split. They were the wood where they would split, and then you would just slide in your fabric and then clamp it down, and you could just roll it that way. What I've got it on now is my 36-inch bars. So you never want to put it on a bar that's any more than 5 inches wider than your piece of fabric, because it will bow or it will cause your fabric to stretch. Now, I've had this cross stitch on this frame for probably, I probably started her 6 or 7 years ago. And normally I would take the bars off the frame and I would roll the bars close to themselves and then stand them, you know, in the craft room to where the canvas wasn't, you know, or the fabric wasn't exposed. Now this one I threw a piece of clear plastic, like cling wrap, or, you know, plastic wrap, just so they don't get dusty. But don't let cross stitch intimidate you. It's a very relaxing and very soothing, and it's kind of like doing a puzzle. If you like to do jigsaw puzzles, it can be a challenge, and I think that's why I like it. I like to challenge my brain when I'm doing a craft or just creating anything, and cross stitch is one of those. If I've had a bad day, if I'm sad about something, or I'm just, you know, my brain is going crazy, I can sit down and I can cross stitch for hours. I will listen to an audio book, or I'll put on music on the home stereo, and I just zone out and I'll cross stitch for hours. But I'm gonna show you this here. She's really, really, really pretty. But yeah, I'm off a stitch and it's driving me crazy. Some people would just say, oh, Richard, just pop in a stitch, you know, in that thing. But then I see the shift. I see the shift in the design, and that's where it drives me crazy. So I'm gonna remove, let me grab my glasses. I am going to remove my needles here. Now you're gonna notice I use needles that have, they're stitching needles. Now I only use this one with the sharp point. I only use this one to unsnag, like if I get a little burr or knot on the back. Otherwise, I never use a sharp pointed needle. And you don't want to when you're doing cross stitch. You want to use a needle that has a dull tip, because when you poke it in and out of your fabric, it doesn't poke a hole in whatever you're stitching on, whether it be linen or Aida cloth or even weave or any of that. A dull tipped needle does not poke a hole in your fabric. And if you've noticed on cross stitch fabric, you're gonna notice that there is a little hole, you know, and the dull tip stitching needle goes in perfect. So I'm gonna unroll her, and I will show you what she looks like. She's absolutely beautiful. But like I said, this is the second time I've stitched her, and I've got some new I've got a 3-piece set of the split oak bars coming. They should be here today from Amazon. And in the set, I got 18, 24, 26, and 30-inch rods. And the whole set with the knobs and the screws and everything was only $27. So I was really excited because now I'll have 4 sets of split rods. So here is what she looks like. Well, I could just take her literally out, but I'm not going to do that. So once again, while I'm doing this, the code word for the painting is Dorothy. Don't forget to put that down in the comments if you want to be eligible. And you must be subscribed to the channel. When I put you in the lucky wheel, the spinning thing, it'll tell me if you're a subscriber or not. If you're not a subscriber, it kicks you out. So yeah. So here's what she looks like. She's absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna pop my camera out of here and I'm gonna bring the camera over to this side. So be right back. Yeah, so here she is. I'm gonna here's what's driving me crazy. I'm 1 stitch off somewhere right up in here. So I've been ripping and pulling out since this morning. Now, those of you that have never done cross stitch, don't let cross stitch intimidate you, and don't let counted cross stitch intimidate you. It's very, very, what's the word I want to use? It's very soothing. It's not hard. Once you find where your pattern and your center of your grid is, you just learn, and you count out and you go from the center. I do it in, how's the easiest way to put this? When you look at your patterns, they have these grids that are 1 inch by 1 inch. I don't do it that way. I will block off, I'll do like a 6 by 6 inch section. I will pick a color and then I'll just stitch. Some people don't do it that way. They will do a 1 inch by 1 inch and then they move over. I don't like to do that because my tension tends to get off. I'm a double-handed stitcher where I put my right hand underneath the canvas and the left hand on top, and then I can just flip my needle like this, and then I'll move over, pull it up with this hand, and that's how I'm able to, you know, do this as fast as I do it. But don't let cross stitch intimidate you. It's nothing to be scared of, and it's really calming. But I'll show you what she looks like. So I'm gonna unroll these, and like I said, I've got this on 36-inch bars, which is driving me crazy because it's way too big of a bar. But I ordered, like I said, that new set from Amazon. I should be getting them hopefully tomorrow. But she's beautiful. The colors in her are just, yeah, she's really, really pretty. And then this is done with the gold floss. I'm gonna add gold beads on top of the ropes in her hair. But let me roll this part back up. And I will go down to the bottom so you guys can see what she looks like. But like I said, I'm not gonna be doing an actual stitching video today. And here's the bottom. She's really, really beautiful. The colors in her are gorgeous. These deep reds and these colors of the flowers. And then all this gold down here, I'm gonna do this rope, this lining of her skirt and her dress. I'm gonna do that in the 14 karat gold beads that I have. And so this is where I've been ripping. I'm gonna have to, when you stitch at 3 o'clock in the morning, like the dumbass that I thought I would do this morning, I got off right in here somewhere. So you'll notice that there's this spot right here. Yeah, there's gonna be a gold bead here, but on this section right here, see right there, there's another single, so I got off somewhere. So I have to rip this out. And yeah, that's the only time that I ever use a pointed needle for cross stitch. Otherwise, you use a needle like this that has a blunt tip. So I'm gonna flip the camera back around and we'll talk some more real quick. Yeah, so she's gorgeous, but a lot of you are gonna ask me, Richard, are you gonna show us how you do your cross stitch? I won't be doing that in today's video. I did want to show you what I was working on though, and I will do a work in progress. I'm just tightening this back on these bars. I will do a work in progress, and I'll show you how I stitch when I get those new rods. And because right now I just these long bars are driving me crazy. It's causing my canvas not to stretch, but it's causing the rods to bow, and it's driving me crazy. Yeah, maybe I am OCD. Maybe it's something new that's kicking in. But I read a great book over the last 2 days, The Saint of Lost Things. Beautiful, gorgeous story about two Italian sisters right after World War II who come to America and they realize their lives have changed completely. It was a gorgeous story, beautiful story, made me cry. Great story. And then I listened to a very disturbing book, but those of you that like true crime and memoirs, I read Deliver Us from Evil. It's the true story written by an ex-New York police officer who worked for the New York Police Department for like 16 to 23 years, but he now works with the Catholic Church in doing investigating exorcisms and violence in America. It was very eye-opening, very thought-provoking, very creepy, but wonderfully written. But yeah, it's called Deliver Us from Evil, and it's written by Ralph Sarchie. So those of you, if you like that kind of stuff, you should listen to it. It's actually great. So yeah, once again, if you guys haven't subscribed, if you like the channel, if you like the comment, please keep the numbers going. Throw me a thumbs up. It's great for my algorithms on my channel. And once again, I will be giving away that painting I showed you. The Wizard of Oz. I did change it to make it look more like the characters. Just remember, you have to pop in the word Dorothy anywhere in a comment. I love coffee. I love coffee. What else did I want to talk about? I don't know. But I will pop up a link, you know, when I'm editing these. I will put on some on-screen graphics for Nora Corbett's patterns, her links. If you've got a chance, just Google Nora Corbett with a C, cross-stitch patterns, and click images. You'll see some of the most beautiful cross-stitch pictures you'll ever see. They weren't cartoonish looking, they were just absolutely gorgeous. And I really miss not being able to get them before they would come out. That was a great thing about working for Stony Creek and Leisure Arts America. It was great because, you know, they would give us the patterns as, you know, the sales managers and distributors, and then we would stitch them up and put them on display in the stores. And but yeah, I've got probably 11 or 12 of her patterns signed, and I did meet Nora once, and yeah, her patterns are beautiful. And I've got 4 coming. I've got my rods coming today. I ordered 4 patterns that I've been trying to find forever from a lady that was selling her mother's patterns, and they've never been opened. They're brand new, and she gave them to me for $15 a piece. So I ordered 4, and they're coming tomorrow. I should have them tomorrow. So in my next video, hopefully I'll have those patterns I can share with you, with all of you, how pretty they are. But you guys and girls, once again, I'm Richard with Real Men Craft 2. Thank you so much for taking time out of the day. Now we've got to get through New Year's. New Year's is crazy. I'm staying home. I'm smart. Yeah, I'm not going out anywhere. It's too crazy in this world right now with just guns and violence, and you don't know where you're safe. But everybody stay creative, stay blingy, stay bright. Be kind to people. Remember, you have one life, and it's given to you, you know, like a gift. Just like I say on my book channel, you know, on my other channel, Nightmares Anyone, live your life like a book. Just don't turn that last page. I want to give a shout out once again and a thank you to all the subscribers I read off. Emma, it was great to pop some comments to you. I'm glad. I'm glad you're feeling better. And Main Girl, and all of you that are going on these new journeys with changes in our lives, just stay positive. And yeah, you guys all know I asked all of you for prayers for Bruce, and prayer does work. Yeah, don't turn that last page, everybody, because once you do, the book's over. But take care. Once again, I'm Richard with Real Men Craft 2. I will see you guys all in the next video. Take care. Bye.